You know, some soccer matches are just games, but every once in a while you get one that's a story about dominance, a sudden collapse, and a wild 3-minute stretch that just changes everything. Let's get into it.
Think about it. 1 second, you feel like you're in total control. The next, you're just scrambling to stay alive. But what we saw in this match, it was something else entirely. A massive, violent swing of momentum that decided the whole thing in just 3 absolutely insane minutes.
All right, so let's set the stage. We're at the stadium they call El Volcán, the volcano. And the home team, Tigres, they were feeling the heat. They hadn't managed to get their first home win of the Clausura 2026 season. And who were they up against? A Santos team that was in a complete and total freefall.
So the stakes were crystal clear, right? For Tigres, it was all about proving themselves at home and climbing up the standings. But for Santos, man, this was about survival. They were second to last with just 1 single point. So you had pressure on both sides, but for totally different reasons.
When the game kicked off, everything seemed to be going just how you'd expect. Tigres was all over them, pushing, creating chances. You could just feel it in the air, you know? That first goal for the home team was coming. It felt inevitable. And then, suddenly, it wasn't.
Oh, you can just feel the frustration building. At 20 minutes in, Diego Lainez lets one rip, just wide. Then, only 2 minutes later, he gets even closer. A fantastic strike that just cannons off the crossbar. Tigres is just knocking and knocking on the door. And then, at 35 minutes, complete silence. A total sucker punch from Santos. It was a textbook counterattack. A long ball over the top, and suddenly Lucas Di Yorio is all alone with the keeper. He keeps his cool, slides it right through the goalie's legs, and just like that, the team at the bottom of the table is in the lead. The volcano was completely silenced.
But then, something just snapped. As the first half was winding down, all that frustration, it didn't turn into despair. No, it turned into pure rocket fuel. The volcano was about to erupt.
Okay, the 40th minute. This is where everything changed.
A corner kick comes swinging in, and the defender's Joaquim just soars into the air, getting above everybody to power a header right into the back of the net. You can just feel the roar of relief from the crowd. The game's tied, but they were not done, not even close. Before Santos could even figure out what hit them, before they could process the equalizer, the clock hits 43 minutes, just 3 minutes later. What a moment. Juan Bernetta puts in this perfect cross, and Edgar Ivan Lopez is right there to head it home. And get this, it's his very first league goal for Tigres. Can you believe it? In 3 minutes, they've gone from being down and frustrated to leading and absolutely electric. The game is flipped on its head. The chaos wasn't even over. Just a minute after taking the lead, there's a scramble, the ball falls to Fernando Gorriarán, he shoots, and it smacks right off the post, inches away from a third goal. That halftime whistle could not come fast enough for a completely shell-shocked Santos team. Okay, so after that absolute whirlwind of a finish to the first half, the second half gets going. And the big question is, can Santos possibly recover? Well, they get one golden, game-changing chance to get right back in it. Right at the start of the second half, Santos gets their one big chance. Their goal scorer, Di Yorio, he has a clear look at goal, and he just completely scuffs it. He mishits the ball, and it sails wide. That was their shot. That was their moment. And it was gone. And you know what happens next. Not long after that miss, Tigres goes down the other end and seals the deal. A cross comes in, it hits a defender's hand, the ref goes to check the monitor, and sure enough, he points to the spot. Penalty. Ángel Correa steps up, cool as you like, sends the keeper the wrong way. 3-1. Game over. But with a 2-goal lead and all the momentum in the world, Tigres wasn't happy just winning. Nah, they smelled blood in the water. This wasn't about getting a victory anymore. This was about making a statement.
The game was won, but the punishment was just getting started.
And here's a little poetic justice for you. Diego Lainez, the guy who came so close twice in the first half, he finally gets his goal. He gets the ball outside the box and just drills a perfect low shot right into the corner. A fantastic finish, and one he absolutely deserved. But believe it or not, they still weren't done piling on the misery. And this goal just summed up the entire night. Another cross comes flying in,
This time all the way to the back post where Diego Sánchez is waiting all by himself to just tap it into an empty net. 5 goals, a complete and total demolition.
So when that final whistle finally blew, the scoreline told a very, very clear story. These are two clubs now heading in completely opposite directions.
So, what does this actually mean for the standings? Well, the result launches Tigres all the way up to second place with 10 points. Their season is suddenly looking very bright. As for Santos, well, they're still stuck down there in penultimate place with that same single point. They are in a massive crisis.
And on a really positive note for the winners, it was a big night for a couple of guys. Their new signing, Cesar Araujo, made his debut. And in just a fantastic personal story, 27-year-old Francisco Paco Reyes got to play his very first minutes in Mexico's top division. A dream come true on a night of absolute dominance.
So I'll leave you with this question. Was this a sleeping giant in Tigres finally waking up and showing everybody their true, terrifying power? Or was this just a total and complete collapse from a team that was already in crisis? Maybe a little bit of both. What do you think?